Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Welcome, dear ladies and gentlemen, to the StarSeries I-League Season 6 European Qualifier. We have reached the stage of the quarterfinals. It's not much time we have ahead of us before the finals are going to be starting. OpTic plays EURONICKS Gaming today. Over the high seed invited, the Danish squad will now fight a German team that has fought a very hard way through group stage. Group D, they were trying to really come out as the victor. Lost against Fractures in the end, but were able to then get a default win. Yesterday won against the Russians of Forza 2-0, and now the big boys are coming. Those Danish big boys are right now, though, playing with a stand-in. Config right now on vacation. The players had a little bit of a break there. They had a little bit of a player's break so they could relax and reset themselves a little. Great thing to do, of course. But right now, coming back from that break, now high seed invited against a team that has actually the possibility, like EURONICKS, to take them out. It's going to be interesting to see. Config on vacation. Nico from Heroic is going to stand in. That's not too much of a problem regarding chemistry, though, because the team of OpTic has previously already played with Snappy. I mean, not with Snappy, with Nico. Nico has played with Snappy, with Yugi, with all of those guys back in Heroic, and they have that sort of chemistry. They know how to work around each other, and therefore I would believe that this shouldn't be too much of a problem to bring that stand-in in, especially as Nico is someone you could consider talented, no doubt about it. I mean, the guy has a 1.06 rating, plays in Heroic since 2016, so always that tier 2 kind of scene and tier 2 kind of competition he has with himself. So I would say that's, first of all, very great to see from the side of OpTic. I mean, the team recently qualified for the minor. Besides that, they've lost against NIP in the finals, but it's still, you know, you're still qualified, so that's a legitimate point. And then on the other hand, you have to though say EURONICKS recently, throughout the last few months, did a great development. The best player right now at this qualifier is a German. It might sound a little odd, you know, you all don't expect that German CS is the new big thing, but it is actually Favin, and Favin is one hell of a talented individual. I love this guy so much on very many bases, on very, very many aspects. He's awesome. I have to give him, he's an awesome guy. Joseph Baumann, 18 years old, extremely talented, a lot of support he gets from the team. After a little bit talk with their recent IGL Crispy. So I would say regarding the map pool we're having, we can talk about that real quick. Because first of all, we're seeing Train. And Train is the best decision to do. We have the instant bans. OpTic says screw cash. EURONICKS say I don't even want to play Mirage. Always the same. Train is a good decision, because EURONICKS is not good on Train. OpTic can decently play, not too experienced in the past few months, but they are just in that state where they know we're better than EURONICKS on this map, 100%. And that's a major confidence boost, and that's something you should be aware about. And then you see that right now Nuke is coming in. The Danes most of the time feel quite comfortable on this map, and it's still, statistically speaking, one of those very German maps. It sounds odd in an interview with the Sprout player NATO Safix. NATO Safix himself said, it's weird to play in a German team, because those Germans are always so strategical. They always do their executes. It's not that loose as you might expect. They just play on a basis where they have their game book open, they take, oh, page number 74, it's going to be that execution, we're good to go. And that's something where Nuke is really, really advantageous for the Germans. And I mean, statistically speaking, 70% win chance. And 70% is not that bad when it comes down to this map. And finally, if we're going on map number 3, it would be Overpass. And from my point of view, it was not that great yesterday for EURONICKS. I mean, their schedule is packed recently with tournaments, which is a little bit of a sad part. EURONICKS, you also see them yesterday playing a little bit weaker than you would expect them to play against a team like Forza Kazuya, with the AWP not hitting the shots you would expect. The team still has the opportunity, in my eyes, to upset OpTic, especially after the break, especially as OpTic plays with a stand-in. But in general, my tendency, though I am a German, you know, I love EURONICKS. I have to say that, first of all, but I still give it to OpTic. I think they're the more experienced team. They're the better players, but we're going to see it anyway, and we're going to just directly hop into our game. Not everyone has connected, but we can watch a bit of warm-up here on Train. So, you know, why not do that? Why not just directly hop in and listen to the Glocks firing away. Cressy and Co. They should be ready for this. I mean, EURONICKS previously today played already matches. They won against Epsilon. Fnatic Academy, well, they took down the Germans. Here we go. EURONICKS Gaming is already ready. Yugi. Oh, changing names is the worst. Yugi. Gade. Then we got Nico and Snappy. Thank you for not changing your names, three of you. And the only thing we should be waiting for right here, technically that should be the coach of OpTic missing. Rugga, who used to also be part of Dignitas and North. And as we see, starting up in a second, it is recently the team of OpTic actually when it comes down to play this map. I mean, like mentioned, they were in the break. Previously taken out ENS, Heroic, North, Renegades, SK the past 3 months just on this map. Way stronger opponents, of course, no doubt about it, and therefore you would imagine EURONICKS stands no chance, especially as the last 6 matches here on Train have been lost. It's a lose streak the team of EURONICKS is on. Off already, 2 more minutes to start. 2 more minutes. A lot of time if you think about it. I don't know how it's for you, but I'm a very sort of impatient person. Logically, we're gonna wait. I can't do anything about it either way, but the thing is, whenever, for example, imagine you go on a date, right? Imagine you go on a date, and that is actually a funny story. I recently said, you know, we're meeting 4 p.m. She said fine. And she was punctual. And that logically makes me very happy, but she says that most of the time, I'm 10 minutes late. I look at in her Instagram profile, it says generally late 10 minutes. It's funny. It's still something I find actually quite funny, to be very honest. Either way, 2 more minutes was called. As those 2 minutes should stop soon. Cressy's already like, hello, can we start please? For a little bit of tension. After losing just that game against Fnatic Academy. You know, OpTic logically a different sort of caliber. And so you really gotta be that team here, EURONICKS, to come in with confidence. If you're sort of scared about any of this, right? If you're sort of worried, hey, is this actually gonna work out? Is OpTic not maybe a little bit too strong for us? Then you pretty much are in the wrong mental attitude. You really need to be that kind of team right now who says, who is OpTic Gaming? Surely you need respect, but just towards a certain level. So fortitude, that was goddamn crucial. That is goddamn crucial. And let's see what the Danes can do about all of this. Map number 1, quarterfinals we have reached during the qualifier, and players are going to come in with the stabbing. Nico's gonna take the high ground. He really does. Oh, and nearly gets executed there. Might be working out for the Germans regarding stabbing. I'm just here for the best caster EU. That's cute, Inside. I'm gonna give you that. You have won my heart, kind of, I guess. But now it's time to not win hearts, but to win rounds. This is not Counter-Strike Love Offensive, it's Global Offensive. And EURONICKS starting here on the defensive side would benefit from a few rounds they just get her from start on. Crispy and Co. need to be 100% ready for this opponent. And OpTic at that point in time already focusing over to the B side, where Murbit, as he usually does, peeks a little wider towards the back of B. So all that noise and Snappy and Cajun opening up the windows. Use the utility any kind of soon. Murbit now sees the shoulder of Yugi, rather retreats instead of for any further duels. And here they come, and Favin realize there's a smoke down coming in connector. Cressy is not really interested in it. Favin is going to be the one who now needs to put a few bullets in their head, and he finds two. That's the way to start off Joseph Bauman, and he does find himself those frags the team necessarily needs to retake that site as soon as possible. There's no Molotov on anyone of OpTic. Snappy, the one without armor, so he's in a bit of a bad position. Now executed by Kazuya. Favin coming closer together with the team. They're approaching Gate and his teammate. Seems like there's no chance left for Yugi. Nope, not going to be the case. The first round goes for EURONICKS. OpTic got that bomb down, but otherwise, it looks good for the Germans. At least in this beginning. As the pistol round starts to work out. That's not going to be OpTic. You know, you would usually expect you get yourself a bomb down. Why don't you go for the safe to play AK's third round? No, it's Yugi being the only one carrying around the Russian rifle and the rest playing with the Deagles. Similar approach. Murbit instead of the back of B. Kind of peek, rather staying on platform. Waiting to drop the Molotov at the right point in time. Just has it in his hands and executed before he can even pull the pin. That's a very unfortunate timing for him. Crispy dying as well. Yugi making his AK shine right now, and he could find a little more. As he shoots in the butt of one of his teammates. The rest of the lads are going to have a little bit of a hard time with this. Staying back on site seems the best of an option. Favin's head is being put into two pieces. And Kazuya and Cressy, they rather retreat as Snappy jumps and shoots at the same time with the Deagle. A very unusual strategy, you could call it. But the IGL from the OpTic site is trying to hit on Kazuya. Player comes in from the left. And the slow peek that then makes it work to at least execute one from the OpTic site. Honestly, best caster in Europe is Henry G or Anderson. I think that the Dear Insight didn't take it too serious. I'm not a Brit though, so that's possibly also an accent sort of thing. But right now, first of all, it's coming down to the Germans. Before they want to be entirely broke, they need to find those frags from start on. Favin on the scouts, not hitting the body shot there, makes his teammate's life Murbit not easier with that. As Murbit is going to stay silently back to sides. He's not going to be exposed. He can delay for a bit, and Murbit can't find one. Kazuya up there with just 8 HP. Able to find a frack. Oh, and that's beautiful from Favin. Takes out Nico, and suddenly his man equalized. HP-wise, though, it doesn't look too good right now for the players with the blue and yellow. Gate already down. Getting the bomb and planting that in just a second. Haven't seemed to have the sort of idea, but not gonna see the leg or anything to shoot at, and therefore OpTic getting themselves that thing down. And Kazuya and Favin could definitely consider to go for the save here, but they're not really interested in it. Gate has the Molotov though. The kid is onto Favin, nothing to extinguish the flames once they're coming down. That's a bit of a problem right now, as they could still have the time. Once Kazuya taps this, Molotov's gonna come down, and then Favin could do it very late. Here comes the Molo. And he tries to enforce one player to come towards him. Kazuya looking in the wrong direction, not hitting the shot. Favin trying to tap away at least another OpTic player, but he's saving that AK. That's everything he's getting himself out of that round number 3. And OpTic are taking a lead after losing that pistol. And I think usually I don't do this, but it's something I really have to do. There's a man in my life, and what calls somehow special. That's Swanee. Jan Miller, the one and only. Thank you for tuning in. Favin now playing this differently to his teammates as they're doing the German tower. You know, there's a Tower of Pisa. And then there's the Tower of EURONICKS. That tower, though, not too successful. Murbit seeing all the utility thrown towards the back of B. No one actually approaching the site, though, at that point. In this round number 4, it should be just too easy for OpTic at that point. Gaining that 3-1. I mean, at the start of the game, we already talked about it. Statistically, major advantage OpTic has on this map. Actually gaining the pistol there from EURONICKS was a bit of a surprise. But instead of ecoing, OpTic did it quite well and knew that they are the better team on this map, and they bought that one AK. They gave Yugi the AK. And then it worked out quite brilliantly. Instead of making it 2-0 for EURONICKS, major pressure built on that German team. That pressure made the Germans collapse. Now full force. Guys, hands in the middle. German power, but who's leaving? Crispy, come back. German Pentagon, come back. He doesn't. Sad story. They've united all their forces. And then it's gonna be in round number 5, where those German united forces are gonna start to strike. That's at least what the plan was. I know Crispy, the IGL of the EURONICKS team, is a very motivation-based sort of that guy. And this is where it matters for EURONICKS. Don't let your opponent run away with too many rounds. Don't let them gain that momentum. That's the thing you don't really want to see with your opponent. Especially when you're on a statistically better side right now. An aggression coming in from Kazuya. Finds himself the first. Could find himself a second. Doesn't do so. At the same time, Gate finds himself Cressy. That opens up now. Opportunity on the A side. Crispy at least sprays away. Nico tries now to flee down from Ivy, but the bomb is now... At the same time, Favin doesn't have the control where he tries to move at. Executed by Cajun. Crispy right now doing a beautiful flick, and that's going to make it work. Murbit finds himself Cajun as well. And the 3-round streak from OpTic has ended right here. OpTic, they've done everything right with that one force in round number 2. After they united their forces back on the B sides, they were able to once more shut down OpTic. The thing is, though, besides Kazuya, barely anything left in the pockets for EURONICKS. Losing this round. Force them down, Murder. Oh, with a crucial mistake. The Molotov could have done so much work right there, but Snappy from the right-hand side tries to attack him. He's running into another Molotov and he's burning away. Oh no. That's probably tilting you big time. And so it's only Kazuya alive, and that should be the point in time where try to save that AWP. Finds at least a frag onto gate. But that's everything. Kazuya is on his own. Pray to the Lord that you can save that one. But Nico coming from the other side, putting a single 7.62 bullet in his head. And therefore, no consecutive round allowed for EURONICKS. Kazuya buying that M4. Right down the top fragger besides Fabin. This is where the IGL, interestingly enough, goes first. Snappy close to exiting A main already, while Kazuya and Crispy are trying to get themselves that information towards Ivy. That position, it's definitely not going to be. The A side already attacked and a Favin falling. Therefore, you should realize this is a big hit on A, and the only real rifle already falling for EURONICKS. Keep that body armor, keep those TZs. And therefore hope to make it work in the follow-up rounds. This has been decided by OpTic, map number 1. What's funny was EURONICKS losing this map against another Danish team previously, and that was Fraxters. That was at the same qualifier, and that was just a few days ago. Oh, Cressy. Opponent approaching. Oh, no. Nice try. Nice try. I think. Oh, did they fall for this? Did they fall for this? Oh no, this is a classic Cressy sort of troll. This is a classic. Oh, you Germans. Marko Djordjevic. Why do you do this? Major German troll. And OpTic is even falling for it. That's the best thing I've ever seen in this qualifier. Maybe it was just one of those guys' prank channels. And in the end, it was all just a prank. And yes, this is Secht. Yes, I am from Germany. Believe it or not. My heart is beating in no color today, though. Kazuya right now trying to make the tower with Favin. No, don't? Okay. Just keeping those USPSs, interestingly enough, instead of trying to go for any aggression. I mean, I understand kind of from Murbit. But they hope that any one of those opponents are running into them. At least Snappy is getting executed. They might get themselves with the bomb explosion just coming at them, the AK. Murbit is able to save that one up. And they will at least have one rifle on the side of EURONICKS. Still, OpTic having those hands on the steering wheel, deciding the direction where this goes. And doing a phenomenal job so far. as we're once more at it. There's the buy from EURONICKS. I mean, losing 3 in the row, not reached maximum losing bonus yet. There it goes. Cajun finding himself too. Cressy is going to execute Cajun in the end, but all the utility towards Ivy already used. Only a smoke and a flashbang left, whilst there's still 1:10 left on that clock. Same time though. It's gonna be Nico finding Cressy. Down to 10 HP he is. And there it gets a little bit tricky right now for OpTic. I mean, you still have to see, HP-wise, it doesn't look brilliant. Yugi just running out and getting executed, and Nico is gonna find his maker as well. Crispy finding him in the end. And EURONICKS once more getting another round. Three to 6, the glimpse of hope for EURONICKS might shine very bright. Need more than that. And Crispy's gonna hold that control towards Ivy, whilst B-side might be attacked. Murbit is not on point today, but he finds himself Gate, a very crucial frag to keep it down, and he finds another with Cajun. Suddenly he's only 2 on the Danish side. As now Yugi and Snappy need to hold this down against 4 Germans approaching. It's going to be a little bit tougher. He throws away his AWB for some reason. Possibly thought there was some kind of gun nearby, but has to check on his right-hand side. Snappy's going to come above. That's a beautiful flashbang to then make it work. Can't find more than that. And suddenly it's only Yugi who gets Kazuya just midair. On his left-hand side, there is a Crispy as well as a Favin approaching. And I think he didn't see him. Yugi does this smart. And he just waits for the fuse to happen. He can't hit the shot though. Favin is gonna pull through. Crispy's gonna come by his sight. And he makes the defuse work. What a tight round it is. But EURONICKS get themselves to number 4. And it nearly was nobody else than Jakob Hansen doing this for OpTic. The guy with the 1.19 rating on the OpTic site. But it was too close. It was too tough, and therefore EURONICKS are coming closer to the scoreline of OpTic and possibly tying this up soon. In case OpTic are playing the way they did in the previous 2 rounds. Those were 2 tight rounds. You really have to say that we're far away from strong, dominant CT performance of EURONICKS, but on the other hand, Smirmit now falling already, and Yugi's gonna go big balls, lags one guy. Favin has a bit of a problem. At the same time, Crispy goes aggressive. He finds himself 2. Yugi kills him though in the end. And that's gonna be Nico as well as Cajun now trying to somehow turn this around. The shattered glass on the B sites, collect it, and put it all together again. Right now, Nico, not quite sure how expected he is. Cressy's gonna keep an eye out from behind. They all expect Cajun already. And there it really comes down to Nico having a good timing. They still have a good bunch of time left. And this is where coordination needs to be pretty much on point. He should see Kazuya, taps him away. That's the first track. That puts some disorientation into EURONICKS, where the players are actually coming from. Cajun is now going to get the assist flash. Favin stands just behind bit of wood, and suddenly a 3 versus 2 turns around into a 1 versus 2. Cressy's on his own. He can execute Cajun. He was not even looking in his direction. But OpTic, they're able to maintain control. It was a little bit oversteering there, like some BMWs. It fits the German mix it oversteer. Thanks a lot for that compliment, Will. That's very kind to say. I'm trying to make it work even better and better. As we Germans, you know, we usually speak like this. And I think that is great to speak with most of the time. Like, go somewhere abroad and speak this accent. Every girl, they will love you. It's always the same story. But anyway, Cressy down to 21 HP. As in a round where EURONICKS, as you see, have tried to invest as much as they can. And that's a very unusual sight to see Cressy down to 1.8. It's possibly down to being not very comfortable regarding this map. I'm usually German-Serbian player, somewhere around a 1.11 rating, contributing a good bunch of time in the rounds. That contribution right now, it's missing. As OpTic is just a single round away from already taking his half, by the way. It's looking more than decent for a Danish lineup. Snappy coming in now aggressive behind Electric as he was waiting. Not even executed instantly. Gate they'll find in two. Until later, all standing in connector. He's coming up. Can't hit the shot onto Nico. And therefore the position of at least one player in connector is known. Cressy as well as Murbit gonna save up those rifles and submachine guns because there's not much more to come in the follow-up rounds in regards of their economy. As we see, pretty much down to 0. Second losing bonus means additional $1,900, and you can hardly work with that bit of money. And OpTic dealt immense damage in this round, securing for themselves very possibly another 2. And that's the point in time where EURONICKS need to find a little bit of a new formula to prevail somehow. As we see consistently, Murbit is a little bit struggling holding the B side. He has done that in a few rounds quite okay, but in a few rounds not that strong. In general, it seems EURONICKS is missing a bit of focus, but once more, this is not their map, so you can really give them... You can really have to say, that's okay. It is kind of okay. As the spy, or more likely non-existent buy of EURONICKS, is mostly consisting of USPSs. This should be OpTic. Having no problem right there. They're hitting at least one shot. They're coming towards Ivy, but 25 bullets is all he can merc. And there's OpTic with the 9-4. And that's just way too strong and way too good. You know, and I was casually just looking on my second screen. I saw one guy saying bad things about BMW. It's not really what you do. You know, I'm a proud owner of one, so that's not kind of you. A BMW E46 330 in Oriental Blue. But back to our actual game. 1:55 left on that clock. We're in the beginning of the rounds. And a bit of damage already dealt towards A-Main. Yugi as well as Cajun have a major rain coming towards them. In the forecast, high explosives it was. Snappy has gained a lot of ground already. He just randomly shoots for the smoke and therefore finds Crispy. From behind though, it's one approaching. Now it's only down to 7. It all happened so fast and we're in a 1 versus 1 situation. Where the big German talent needs to strike. Definitely heard those snaps. I'm very, very aware of the position of Nico. And he finds him in the end. Secures number 5 for EURONICKS. And once more, it's the youngster securing it for the team with the blue and yellow. OpTic having as much money as they want, though. And therefore, round number 15. where you might see double digits, or EURONICKS denying exactly those. We see, though, barely anything they have left economically. So UMP twice to play the utility. And as it comes, Famine sitting the first. Cajun B can find Murbit, who just hits one, and that is only Snappy in the end. Crispy, Kazuya, and Cressy have a little bit of a tough task up ahead. And as there is right now, Crispy falling. It's Kazuya being blocked by the Molotov. Cressy has a long way around. And suddenly, it's only Oliver Hack, the oldest player on EURONICKS. There's a hard time to just somehow survive, and there is going to be tapped away by Nico. That's a 10-5. And OpTic switching over to nothing else than their more favorable sites. The fun story is, more than 20 percentage points, OpTic is better on the upcoming counter-terrorist site. So that could be just 6 rounds in a row OpTic might get. Pure dominance, very possible. Regarding the BMW, got rich dad or hard work, I guess the best of both worlds is the proper answer. But first of all, 3 players coming down Pop Dog, taking out Snappy. Didn't expect that, and suddenly Danish IGL gonna have a bit of a trouble. Players are actually being shut down. The German train is going fast, full speed, flat 6. But now, oh, Murbit somehow survives this and therefore runs directly to the B site and tries to make it work. That's smart, but it could backfire massively. How much is Nico waiting for the smoke to fade? But Nico's gonna be the only one. He got a kit, so a lot of time. And Murbit with just 20 HP does nothing else than hide in the corner. Checking every single angle. Hoping that the German-Turkish player will peek at one point. He's being loud. And Murbit tries to play it smart. Goes out around wide. Could stick to the defuse, but Murbit comes around. Oh, and he just taps him down to 4, but this is not enough. And now Murbit is going to go for the run. And as time is ticking low, he still finds the body shot. And this is now where the defuse kit is becoming in handy. Otherwise, this possibly would have never worked out. OpTic securing themselves the round number 1 of the second half, but just with one single individual surviving. And doing exactly the opposite, basically, of what OpTic did. If you remember correctly, OpTic lost the pistol rounds against the German, then decided to go for that force with 1 AK and just deagles. Now it'd be a tough pill to swallow for Germans, but it's not their decision. Next up's gonna be Nuke, some place where they feel quite comfortable at. It really has to be Murbit together with Kazuya getting their focus properly back in the game. There were a few situations where you could really see that somehow concentration was missing. And the lads of Germany, they're just not plugging off the heads you usually see. We're seeing, oh no, this is all a shutdown. Yugi's getting so many nice dollars. So German tip it is 1,800. 7 rounds difference. AK now in those German hands. Barely any utility to work with. This is where it goes fast. Full speeds, full throttle. Favin is out already. Snap, he goes quite aggressive, goes down those ladders. Oh, and he thinks Favin puts him down to just nothing else than a single point of health. Kazuya also down to 4. Should lose any sort of duel, does so. But it's still only down to 2, and Yugi, unfortunate for him, has nothing else than an AWP and gets executed. Gate can try his best. But the Germans were fast. The inline 5 went revving big time. And that inline 5 producing the beautiful sound of aggression and great takes. Great A-side takes, of course. Though inline 5 has been used in Group B, but that's a different sort of story. Either way, half amount of the points right now in the pocket of EURONICKS. A major difference between those teams we could really see during the first half. It was just simply EURONICKS not on the level that OpTic has performed, which isn't too much of a surprise. Now we're still seeing Nico having that Deagle alive, but not taking out Favin, and then Cajun tries to peek white. No chance. At least they executed Cressy. Kazuya would be a very possible option, but at that point, OpTic are coming in with another buy. The single eco, just give EURONICKS that one. First map train that has been picked here by OpTic. Very obvious it is. Funny story is, Nuke. The last time OpTic has lost this map was against the NIP. The time before was against EURONICKS in double overtime. So, a very close victory for the Germans on Nuke against OpTic they have already achieved a few weeks back. That's the story if they can repeat history. Because as we see from OpTic, playing with the stand-in doesn't seem to really weaken them right here. But you have to say Nico has played with the majority of those players of OpTic already in previous teams. I mean, the Danish scene rotates around a lot of players. The funny story is most of the OpTic players have already played with Hunden. But either way, coming back into this right now, Favin is going to realize where Snappy stands. Smerbit finds him previously, but then from Pop Doc, Nico is going to strike with somehow a long-range headshot off that XM1040. And therefore Kazuya gets himself gate. Suddenly it's only down to Cajun. It seems like the German aggressors are doing this all right. A tiny gap in the smoke. Flashbang for Cajun, who just waits patiently. Kazuya has left. Crispy and Favin are going to finish the job off. That was the buy round for OpTic, where EURONICKS had the guns in hand at the same time. And then it's going to be the 12-8. And as only the pistols are trying to make it work, this could be now EURONICKS gaining that momentum and the confidence to make it work. At the same time, though, 2 players executed, already down in the grave here on the EURONICKS side, sharing a coffin, while Snappy silently goes around. Cressy seems to be quite aware, loses his head though. AK, it's not going to be picked, and suddenly it's only down to Favin. OpTic in the previous round had all the guns they were looking for, and now only the pistols, and they seem to make it work, except Favin has some special winning formula to make it work. On his right-hand side, Snappy waits. He spams the 50 cal pistol. That's gonna be OpTic coming closer to the victory, whilst at the same time, EURONICKS with 3 rounds in a row were able to pile up a few dollar bills there. But that reserve is not going to be very usable in the follow-up round. Still 2.6, 1.9. That's okay. The only thing I'm kind of confused about, where's the coach of OpTic? Where's Rugga? He's also seemingly missing. Now Cajun. He puts Crispy in the state of missing in action. Taking out the player. EURONICKS B-side aggression a little bit weakened for the moment. It seems like he only has the information about one player. Snappy not interested in taking any aggressive stance over towards Ivy, whilst at the same time a big shower of nades is coming down towards me. Gabe is just waiting for the players to just come down. It's actually not working out. Murbit drops at the same time where he gets himself a successful headshot. Murbit down to 12 at the same point. All the utility thrown in. Snappy at the same time. Coming back from Ivy. At least find himself one. That's going to be a low HP AWP. Full HP rifle. Wrong timing, wrong position to reload. And Cressy, he's the one. There's no more real utility to throw. There's still a Molotov actually onto Nico, but he doesn't use it. And that's a little odd, because what do we have seen? I mean, he seemed to have the right kind of idea, but he also had major confidence. He moved through here, never checking ramp, really. Went to the bomb and didn't decide to Molotov here. A little bit unusual, you could call it. And now OpTic could be economically reset by EURONICKS. Here's giving that round away. Gate goes far away on the backside of B. It's gonna be executed then by Murbit. Same time, Kazia tries to take the room over towards Ivy. One option successful. Another one to come. Crispy's nearby, but Crispy's not gonna be found, and instead, AK does the job right. 14 HP. Yugi's left back on. Hopes for the assistance drive in time. Cajun, he takes out Crispy. And therefore, it's gonna be Yugi not be quite aware that there's another player, that's the third actually, coming just down towards Ivy. At the same time, Nico should have the information. There's still a lad over there, and Nico should rather wait. Yeah. And not go for any close range duel, and that scenario was inevitable. Favin fights Cajun. Double digits achieved from EURONICKS. This was a 10-5 haul for OpTic. They were starting it off 12-5. Now the possibility to come back into this. And they're coming, and EURONICKS, they possibly really have that momentum to get this thing in their hands. OpTic now on the eco, as previously they were not able to win the round. Cressy taking a long time with getting that bomb down. OpTic stacking the wrong bomb site.
Bomb has been planted.
Now the entire roster trying to come over from CT. It seems to be Cajun playing the point man. And there's a guy to fight. That's gonna be Favin. Executing the first. Cajun down. As he's been put in the coffin, suddenly a big cluster of Danes is coming towards Favin. They don't even care about the Molotov, but obviously Snappy does. Executed by the 7.62 bullets. Favin now needs to realize I need to go out of this somehow. And they're all coming towards CT. Otherwise, Blast is not killing anyone. Gate tries, but he doesn't hit a thing. And that logically helps the team of EURONICKS so goddamn much. A flawless round means everyone gets the bonus. And right now, the stand-in on the top of the scoreboard. 21-14. Nico in general, very talented individual who used to play under the leadership of Snappy for a while. Much team damage dealt towards A main. Kazuya finds Yugi refrag from Nico instantly onto Murubit, and there's a little bit of the shadow dancing around to smoke. Snappy therefore gets himself Cressy. Kazuya is a body shot away from dying. Favin up with 72. And there comes the first. Favin with the refrag. That was in time. And Nico comes in from behind, but I think he's not really coming in time. A little late he is. Now it's down to only 2 things. Skate is going to be the first obstacle. And he's doing not much more. Dealing a bit of damage. Cajun tries to hit both, and he does. Favin dealt that headshot onto Crispy, but with the own teammate's gun. And that's going to be the 14-11. EURONICKS have all the dollar bills they need. Once more come up with a decent buy. But OpTic, they want to close this chapter called Nuke, and that ASAP. It might be a little bit portentous here for EURONICKS. It might look a little sinister. That right there seems to be a little bit... Is it a fake, or is they rather really pulling through? That's always the question. I mean, Cressy still stays towards B and tries to force players to stay back on the side. And there they're finding Nico. That execution might work out. The Molotov going back on the side, then the flashbang making Yugi go white entirely. Doesn't see a thing, nearly mollowed away. But the Op still able to strike, and if Snappy hits the right kind of timing, he might be the one to find a few. Cajun, Snappy, and Gates. They need to hold up those Germans approaching. Cajun having not a chance, not expecting the players to be in that fire already. Snappy tries find himself more than Cressy. Kazuya could be the perfect victim for that one, but nope, it's gonna be EURONICKS picking the number 12. OpTic wanted to close this out, but denied by the Germans. And therefore, Nico, Gate, and Cajun might decide to go for the force. It would be a very valuable option right here. If you remember, it was one of the crucial rounds that secured them the number 13, where they have only one with Deagles and a few ZZs. The Danes 2 rounds away from winning. I'm gonna right now see Crispy and Co. going maximum speeds towards the B site. Rotation happening, but Nico's not hitting his shots. Same going for his teammates. There comes Yugi. There's number 1, and that's still achievable. As Snappy waits for the smoke to fade. Both players are standing back in CT for the moment. It's a question, do they still try to go for it or not? Because Snappy, once more, a teammate not allowed to enter the bomb site. Nico and Yugi, they're accepting their faith. Nothing that will now come our way. Oh, that's gonna be Crispy now, but only 2 players executed. Yugi can't hit the shot on Kazuya, and therefore 2 are surviving. And that might become a tough pill to swallow. And this is the point in time where usually Crispy is making a lot of noise for the team. This is usually the point in time where the German in-game leader makes the team go wild. Though the double nade is painful to watch. Cressy as well as Favin becoming the victim of 2 HEs. Easy damage and easy frags usually for the pistols, as we're talking about, though. Gate finds himself the frag onto Kazuya, who was actually not a victim of those grenades. Now Murubit coming out popped together with his teammate. Murbit is going to be executed. Yugi finally taken down. The P250 from Snappy might be a great tool to take out Cressy and Favin, who are though right now rotating over back to B. And there it goes. That bump down. OpTic accepting their fate of the tie. Round number 29 is there where it could all decide. Nico and Co. at least saving themselves those two AKs. And now the two Danish lads coming in with those rifles. It's really, really time to strike. It's really that point in time where you want to be the victor on your own map pick. OpTic has delivered us a great first half. Now, once more, gotta repeat it. The team of Yugi is 65% of the rounds they've won successful on the CT site. That's not just a bit of a better CT site, that's a majorly better CT site. Murbit, as he is able to secure himself gate, that B site now open for the Germans. They're getting that C4 down. Crispy is coming close. He might hit the shot onto Snappy. He's not able to do so, so Murbit is coming in for assistance. Who's securing himself a triple, but Yugi, he's starting to strike and hit that op shot, but it's not much more than that. So still Nico comes, but that bomb is down, and the number 15 is secured for Favin, Crispy, and Cressy. B-side in a quite aggressive manner. Murbit, who was shockingly unstable during the beginning of this game, now getting a triple. And that's exactly the way you want to see it go. In case you're a EURONICKS fan, of course. As Yugi tries to somehow stay in the smokes. Oh, Yugi finds one. Get more than that. The AWP slapped out of the hands. And that might become shockingly close. Shotgun, UMP, AK op, and dualies. Onto Yugi. Every single dollar spent, of course. I mean, what else are you going to do with the rest of that money? You can't save it anyway. And now it's down to the 5 Germans. Secure a surprise victory, 16-14 on Train. EURONICKS is statistically speaking far away from good on this battleground. Train is just not the place where they usually like to be. Now it's once more that full focus they need. The players of EURONICKS not shifting towards any direction yet. Zua taking a quite aggressive stance with that AWP, now hiding for the moment. That seems to be the assisting flash for Favin to come. Going out A. That's one frag coming, another one. Now makes it also brutally close. Yugi standing already on that B site. I'm not quite sure if Crispy's aware together with his teammates. One Murbit seems to through. Murbit doesn't hit the shot. There is now finally the opera down. No, it is not. It was actually Nico. Yugi is still alive, and he might just make that possible. As Crispy's on his own, and OT seems to be the case. It is the case. EURONICKS can't close the deal. That's the overtime. That is a 15-15, and OpTic started off 12-5. 4 comfortable rounds they would have been able to gather. And suddenly, the Danes shakier and shakier, but able to make it work in round number 30. The classic 6 rounds. We saw EURONICKS as they were picking up a more aggressive pace. They were seriously able to gain a few more rounds. And now has gained, and the rest of the team gonna be games. Having a big line of Germans approaching him, but he doesn't find the frag. In the last 3 rounds, he didn't look too consistent. Yugi now strikes. At least finds the first frag down to the B side. Murbit is taking his time with coming down. And that's C4. It's on the ground. Resi has no Molotov to block the defusal. They're coming one. And that height advantage for Murbit, it only works partially. Snappy makes that one. The defuse that has to be restarted right there, and it's going to be the patience that's going to work. Cressy is not shoulder peeking, he's not shoulder peeking, he's getting those bullets, and then he finds himself Snappy. Back and forth so many goddamn times. And then he secures number 16 for EURONICKS. In what a sort of fashion it was. And right now, 16-16 it is. OpTic. Do they grant EURONICKS at round number 17? Agent standing aggressive out in the open, but successfully finds Favin. Nico, by the way, on 30-19. We didn't even finish that overtime gate, though. There he finally starts up. The last 2 rounds, barely has put up any show. Now secures a triple. Therefore, he should allow the team to get the number 17, and therefore now switch to the side where they have been more successful at during this game. Bates coming in, he's gonna be tapped away. Same for Cajun, not gonna be the case. Yugi's there. (17-16), EURONICKS. They started off quite well. And as that 17-16, it's bringing OpTic back there where they were able to pick up a 10-5 halftime line. They might just be able to close that case. Fabian has a bigger problem with that. He's able to take himself out. Nico. Cressy picking up that auto sniper. EURONICKS is just on those AWPs, and it's odd. I think you really have to call this odd. Yes. Most odd sort of play. They all just picked up the long-range rifles, and Cressy finds himself gate. Auto sniper with now 2 frags. Crispy getting Yugi as well. Suddenly it's only down to the Danish IGL. Sees Cressy, takes him out. Mirbit gets snappy. This was a only scoped rifle buy. We have seen 1 SCAR 20, the rest carrying around just the AWPs. I'm not quite sure how this was able to work out, but it seems like no close range duels really happened, or EURONICKS was able to somehow prevail against the fast shooting AKs of OpTic. And that means 17-17. EURONICKS had taken a very aggressive stance at this. Nico's gonna come in with the information. Knows something is happening towards Ivy. At that point in time, it looked a little portentous, so rather retreated. A-side execute. It's gonna come in, and then it's gonna be 20 bullets. Cressy is trying to spray through. Reload happening. Doesn't even matter. He takes the height advantage. And Gate, he's just in front of him. More to the right. Cressy more to the right. No, he can't make it work. And suddenly it's Kazuya taken out, and Nico finding Fabian as well. And that was the last shot off the auto sniper we heard for a little bit of a while. Nate works. German basketball at its finest, and Mirbit as well as Crispy. Gotta turn this one around in their favor. The bomb planted it in such an unfortunate position. Now you need to find frags ASAP. But that's gonna work out in a very tough manner. Crispy is gonna have a player nearby, and Mirbit, he doesn't find the bomb. There's no bomb nearby. And he can't make the shot count. Oh no. The A-side defense, once it doesn't go according to plan. (18-17). That's the possibility for EURONICKS to either say we're putting this into another overtime. We have a very similar buy of what we had in the first round. But this time, it's a double auto sniper. Oh, and Kazuya takes out Yugi! And EURONICKS, they somehow love those SCAR 20s. German counter-strike with another Kazuya double wallbangs! Oliver Hack, you're a little bit crazy right now. You're finding too many right there. He's still got 3 magazines left, so why not continue to go for it? Oh, are you kidding me, Kazuya? The man suddenly made his last name work, as it is Hack, and sprays down 3 players through the wall just with a score 20. Something is so wrong here. But it's awesome to watch. I don't really know what to say about it. Snappy and Cajun are the only 2 individuals to now clean things up, and that's the only legitimate reaction here coming in from Yugi. They still have the opportunity to bring this down in their favor.
Bomb has been planted.
And that has now to be retaken from Major Lee. Close range guns. Cajun takes out Cressy. Only down to Snappy right now. Evan very nearby. Gonna be taken out mid-air, and so it's only Merbit. The only individual to now make this work. That's the fake. Merbit's gonna wait. Spray coming in. 13 bullets. Does he find Merbit? He does! Oliver Hack secures a triple for nothing else than the wall. But it's gonna be OpTic picking this up. I seriously have no clue what you want to say about this last round. This has to be somewhere in the top 10 best clips of Twitch 2018. Kazuya getting 3 kills through the wall magically. He knew the spot where to hit. That's really what you have to give him. He already sprayed very accurately, but it wasn't enough. Overtime secured OpTic their own map pick. It was not really the way they wanted to go. I mean, you have to see 12-5 it was after 2 rounds after the halftime for OpTic, and it seemed like, yeah, fast ending, no problem, very easily done. But then the unfortunate part started to strike. EURONICKS really got themselves that comeback you really don't want to see. In the end, it was enough. Next up, we're going on Nuke. The Germans feel quite well on that map. We're going to see how they were going to make it work out. The first map goes in favor of OpTic. We're taking a little break. We'll just be right back. That's the right way around. My name is Sesht. Grab yourself something to drink. It's quite hot out. Now we're going to see each other for the second map.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports